Hey, welcome to another episode of the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe, and this is a multifamily brief episode. So, how's it going, everybody? So, today is Tuesday, June 20th. And I mean, this episode will be released on Wednesday. So, just a day ahead. But anyway, I spent most of the day yesterday, with my business coach, which is always a fun time. Huge fan of coaching. I think, when I look at where my trajectory is hockey sticked, it usually starts with hiring a coach of some sort. But when we talk about multifamily, I think a lot of the education, focuses on first deal. And that tends to be the hardest thing. It also tends to be the place where people are willing to spend the most money is getting that first deal because there's a big barrier to entry there. And so I did coaching, 2018. So it's been almost 5 years since I signed up. It was later in the year. So almost 5 years since I signed up and, did a year's worth of coaching and ended up doing fairly well, bought a couple of properties and, the next year we just kept on doing the same thing, bought some more, some more, some more. But there came a point in time where we hit a ceiling. And I think that's something that really happens a lot. That doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to hit that ceiling. And one thing that we were discussing, yesterday is, how to get through the ceiling, first of all. But after we get the first deal, a lot of what you need to do to start scaling is documenting, documenting what you are doing and how you do it. There's certain things now to get your first property. I assume that you're probably going to look at, 50 to 100 different properties. You're going to be underwriting them. You're going to be looking at different things. You don't have to document every piece of it, but there are certain things that you need to have in writing, and you have to make sure that you follow those things every time. Have your systems set up. And if you have the system set up, you're on the road to scaling, and here's why. Sometime in the future, if you're scaling, you're bringing on more properties, you're going to hire somebody. All right. If you have your system set up, it's really easy to say, this is how we do things. All right. This is our way of conducting business. Here you go. All right. And you teach them the system that you use. So when you're bringing on new personnel, that system is huge just because it's like, here it is. This is your job description. This is exactly how you're going to do things. And I'm going to walk you through the process or the steps to do all of this stuff. All right. Now, something else about the systems is it's good to have these systems and, make sure the people to the left and to the right of you know what you're doing and how you're doing it. All right. Because it's a team sport. It's like, running an offensive play on football, your offensive linemen are each going to have certain assignments and they need to know what's going on to the left and right of them. Part of the system that you bring up is you're going to share it with your counterparts. This is how we do X. This is how we do Y. And this is how the things are interrelated. Okay. And so there's not a guessing game between, you and your partners or you and people you bring onto the team about, who's doing what when, because it's all, written down, documented. And, the hard part is to make sure that it's followed, that everybody follows their own system. Something else that we did yesterday, and I'm super excited for this, is we relooked at our targets. We have a 10-year target, which instead of a 10-year target, we chose the end of the decade, December 31st, 2030. But, we have some rather large goals. I want to have 10,000 units by then. I'm at 1144 as of last week. 6 years to buy 9,000 units. All right, I can do that. But you're starting to break these things down into, what's our goal by the end of 25, which is, I think 2.5 years, so we have our 3-year target, which we set, 3 to 6 months ago. So end of 2025, we have our 1-year target that we need to hit to be able to get to our 3-year target. And, once again, go back and set our quarterly goals. So we walked away from there with, a lot of quarterly goals, and we know exactly what we need to be doing. And, one of our quarterly goals, incidentally, was to come up to make sure everything that we do is documented, make sure that we have our playbook or, our way of doing things, and that each role has its own document. So anyway, once again, love the idea of coaching, and the business we're building right now is going to be around for a long time. It's going to do a lot of really, really good things. And right now we're setting a foundation up. And I think looking into multifamily investing, most people don't just want to do one deal. I think if there's any weakness in the coaching system, once again, it's most people, most of the coaches are focused around one deal. Here's how you find your first deal. But the reality is, one apartment complex is not going to make anybody financially free, right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. But unless somehow you can figure out how to own the whole thing yourself without, putting a ton of money into it. But yeah, one apartment complex is not going to make anybody financially free. To get to that point, you're going to have to string together several apartment complexes and, be able to manage the complexes, be able to manage the investors, be able to, put everything together. And that's what I think like I said, a lot of the coaching programs fall short is they don't talk about that. They don't talk about how to stack things. They don't talk about systems and systemizing your processes and coming up with your playbook. And this is how we do things every single time. This is the streamlined capital way of doing business, or this is the insert your company's names way of doing business. The foundation, doesn't ever really get set up. And I think consequently, a lot of people get a lot of immediate success and fizzle. And honestly, that happened to me as well. Got a lot of immediate success and got to the point to where, like I said, we hit the ceiling, and it was hard to break through the ceiling. So anyway, I think I've talked a lot in the past about that experience, but right now we're setting up the foundation for Streamline Capital Group. Made a really good hire for my acquisitions director with Schuyler Shoemaker. If you haven't connected with him, reach out to him on LinkedIn and connect. And, we should have our second hire, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, narrow the field down to, 5-ish. And by the end of the week, we'll have it narrowed down to 2. And hopefully late next week, we'll make an offer out. But yeah, we're growing. And once again, and most importantly, we're trying to do it by setting the foundation first, making sure that the foundation can hold the structure that we're going to build on top of it. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and stay tuned because Friday we're going to put out another great Ask the Expert episodes. So enjoy that, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, if you like that episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you haven't joined our multifamily educational community, the Tribe of Titans, yet, you are missing out. So get yourself 30 days free by clicking the link below in the description, or go to thetribeoftitans.info, and we'll see you there.